Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I've been using iOS 18.5 for one day. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite features and talk about what I think of this update so far. So in iOS 18.5, we do have a good amount of features, but it's not really a whole bunch of features. But the first feature is in the Mail app. In the Mail app, if you look closely, you will be able to tell that there is like a hint of something in the far right. There is a hint, and that is the All Mail section. Back in iOS 18.2, we got this new Mail app, but now in 18.5, they added a hint. And you also can turn off your contact photos directly from the Mail app itself. Then you can also switch back to categories if you want to make the Mail app more like iOS 18 early versions or even iOS 17. If you go down to the lock screen here and we scroll to the right, we now have Pride wallpapers, and this has a really cool animation. This has a very wonderful animation to it. Overall, it is a really nice wallpaper. If I go into settings, I scroll down to accessibility, I go to touch and go to back tap, you now have a back tap banner. Now, yesterday there was a bug. It was a very temporary bug, but I will mention it in this video. The bug somehow resolved itself, but basically, I quickly turn on dark mode while the back tap banner was in place, then turn on light mode and then turn on dark mode while it was in place. And when I did that, it messed up the color of the back tap banner. So if we take a look at the banner, it's supposed to be black but have white text. Well, the bug that I mentioned yesterday ended up fixing itself, but it was a dark gray banner, just like how it is now, but with black text instead of white text. That was a temporary bug that I guess I caused in 18.5, but it's a good thing that that bug ended up resolving itself. But you do have a back tap banner in this update. Now, you do have a switch to turn that off, but I like the banner, so I'm going to keep that enabled. For when you activate back tap, it gives you like a really nice banner. So I'm going to keep that enabled. Now, as far as other features, if we go into General and we go to AppleCare and Warranty, this has a slight update to it where it now shows the AppleCare logo. I guess it doesn't show it when you go into About and your coverage warranty. It doesn't show it. But if I go here to AppleCare and Warranty, it will show the AppleCare logo. That is a really nice change in iOS 18.5. Now, if I go into screen time, if you have a screen time password set up for a family member, and if they enter in that passcode, you will get notified that they're entering in that passcode. It's a nice change in iOS 18.5, but I don't have that set up, but I don't really use screen time like that. But if someone in your family does and you have a passcode set up and they enter it, you will get a notification. So that is a really good feature in iOS 18.5. As far as some other features, well, if I go into the Photos app here, well, first, let me take a screenshot. If I go into the Photos app here, and we go to delete a photo, You now have delete all and recover all. If you select the photo, it would just say delete and recover. But you can now delete all and recover all, which is a nice new change in iOS 18.5. But I was seeing that in iOS 18.4.1. So I'm not really sure if that is entirely a new change. It was in 18.4, but then removed and brought back in 18.5 for some people. But it was showing up for me in 18.4.1. As far as any other features, well, iOS 18.5 is relatively a small update. But as far as the performance, I've been using the update for a day. I haven't ran any Geekbench scores. I will do a follow-up video later, probably either Saturday or Sunday, to talk about how the experience has been using it for a week. But as far as any other features, well, the next update is iOS 18.6 Beta 1. I would expect that update tomorrow. I thought it would be today, but it looks like most likely tomorrow. When iOS 18.4 released on March 31st, April 2nd, which was that Wednesday, we got iOS 18.5 Beta 1. So maybe Apple's releasing their updates on a Monday, the public ones, and releasing new betas that Wednesday. So iOS 18.6 is going to be no exception. Then we have iOS 19. Now, also, I will have another video out either when I know more about it, but Apple is supposed to announce some accessibility features coming to iOS 19. This is something they do every year. Last year, they announced features for iOS 18, such as eye tracking and vehicle motion cues, I believe they announced. But they're going to announce some iOS 19 features. And when they do, I will make a video talking about the features that was announced. As far as anything else, well, iOS 18.5 is relatively a small update, but I will make more videos on this update and even a follow-up video as well. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I'll see you guys later.